Who knew Adolf Hitler was a health freak? Hello everyone, today is August 19th and on Behind the Date, we're diving into the day that Adolf Hitler became the German head of state. While we turn this page of history, let me tell you about all the mind-blowing secrets about Hitler I bet you didn't know. We'll start off with whether Hitler was actually a health freak. How did he rise to power? And the most interesting of all, was Hitler nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize? Before I get into the juicy details, make sure to like this video. The Nazis are well known for their crazy obsession with creating a master Aryan race. And apart from all the inhuman atrocities they practiced for creating this master race, there is something surprisingly sensible they tried. It was healthy habits. Hitler himself was actually a health-conscious person. He was a teetotaler, that's a person who avoids alcohol, a non-smoker, and a vegetarian. Interestingly, the Nazis also created the most advanced anti-tobacco campaign of its time. A paper written by German scientists was the first time ever where cigarette smoking was identified as a direct cause of lung cancer. Pretty advanced for them, isn't it? But these healthy habits didn't help Hitler much, because they were all undermined by his alleged use of opiates. He was widely dependent on a mix of cocaine and opioids, and allegedly because he had to substitute for the loss of his natural charisma. As Hitler neared the end of his life, it was speculated that he had Parkinson's. There was never a confirmed report, but newsreels of Hitler showed that he had tremors and a shuffling walk, which all worsened as his end neared. So he tried to promote healthy habits, but behind the curtains was fully dependent on drugs. Let's get into exactly how did our fake health freak rise to power. With the death of German President Paul von Hindenburg in August of 1934, Chancellor Adolf Hitler became the absolute dictator of Germany. He took up the title Fuhrer, meaning leader, and that's when it all began. The German army took an oath of allegiance to its new commander-in-chief. With that, the last remains of Germany's democratic government were dismantled, and Hitler's reign commenced. In 1938, Hitler implemented his plans for world domination with the annexation of Austria. Then, in 1939, Germany managed to seize all of Czechoslovakia. In the same year, Hitler invaded Poland, and that's when the war with England and France began. The opening years of the Second World War looked well for Hitler. He had a series of victories, one after another, and he managed to conquer a great part of continental Europe. But the tables turned as soon as Germany invaded the USSR in 1942. In 1945, the British and Americans were closing in on Germany, and Hitler was hauled up in a bunker, awaiting defeat. On April 30th, when the Soviets were less than a mile away from his headquarters, he committed suicide with Eva Braun. Eva Braun was his mistress, whom he had just married the night before. Hitler left Germany devastated and at the mercy of the Allies. But despite all this, was it really true that he was nominated for a Peace Prize? In the list of all the Nobel Prize winners in the world, Hitler's name would be your last guess, right? Well, you're wrong. In 1939, a member of the Swedish parliament named E.G.C. Brandt nominated Adolf Hitler for the Nobel Peace Prize. Brandt didn't actually mean it. He did it as a joke to criticize the political discussions happening in Sweden. He didn't like that other politicians were nominating the British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain for the same prize, and hence, as a joke, nominated Hitler. However, people didn't find Brandt's joke funny. I mean, obviously, and the nomination was taken back in February 1939. Luckily, toward the end, Germany had to surrender because there was no leader to lead them through the war. Japan, on the other side, was a moody one. Sometimes they considered surrender, and sometimes they were all riled up to fight. While we're on that topic, check out my next video on Japan surrendering during World War II, because it wasn't as simple as those history books taught you. And make sure you subscribe to Behind the Date so that you stay tuned for more captivating stories, mind-boggling facts, and insane adventures. Let's quench your curiosity and make every day exciting and extraordinary. I'll see you in Japan.